What's up, guys? You're tuned in to another Rappler Live Jam from home. I'm Amanda, and up next we have Jayda Avanzado, who recently released her latest single, MU, and is gearing up for her first ever major concert on June 26th. So she's here now with us to chat about all her musical
Hello.
plans. Hi, Jayda. So, how
Hi,
have you
Amanda. Thanks for
been?
having me.
You look so fresh.
Thank
I love
you.
it. Yeah, how have you been
I've been
so
good,
far?
super busy, especially today. Today is a very big day for me. But yeah, I've been so busy doing so many things, especially in regards to concert preparation, new career opportunities, that sort of thing. I have a very busy next few weeks ahead of me, especially for June. It's a
Mhm.
very busy month. But
So,
how about you? How have you been?
yeah, I'm fine. Like, you know, swimming along as we
Swimming
all
along.
do. Yeah.
Right.
But it's a pandemic and all that. But you've been really busy, like you said, like you've been releasing music. How has it been working as an artist at a time like this?
I think, this kind of time, it really forces you to start thinking outside of the box, finding new ways to do things and express yourself. I think this pandemic has really challenged me as a singer-songwriter to find new ways to connect with my listeners and my viewers, and I think just explore other aspects of my artistry that, back then or a few months ago I hadn't really even discovered about myself. Like a little bit pre-pandemic, but still during the pandemic, I started writing songs in Tagalog. So, which was
Oh,
a really big feat for me since I'm originally from America. I grew up there, and English is really my first language. But when I started writing in Tagalog, yeah, the rest
what
is
led
is
up to that?
history. What
What
led
led
up
up
to
to
that?
the Tagalog
Honestly,
songs?
it was a moment of just pure, like, inspiration, a light bulb moment. In a way, I feel like it was like a destiny kind of moment. It really started with my first song, the first Tagalog song I've ever written. It's called "Paano Kung Naging Tayo," and
Mm.
it really started with a post that I saw on social media, basically of someone talking about what ifs when it comes to their relationships. And in this, particular scenario, when they were talking about what if we got together or what if we were together, it really struck me and I really could relate to it. And then all of a sudden, it just kind of popped out of nowhere, popped into my mind the phrase or the question, paano kung naging tayo? And
Mm.
then I immediately knew in my heart that I had to write about it. It just felt so special. And I wrote the song with my dad, and we finished it in
Mm.
24 hours. And ayun, that was the rest
Nice.
was history.
And that's also it's the same for your latest single, MU. Like you
MU.
also
Yes.
collaborated with your dad on it. Like what's it like working with your dad? Because he's super famous singer, an icon. So
Yeah.
what's it like?
Right. No, he's a very I think it's a very enriching experience. I think as a not only as a daughter, but as an artist to hear, wisdom coming from someone who has been doing this for so long. I think this is a nicer way of saying he's a bit old. I'm kidding. But you know what? Like I really see it as, every moment with my dad is a teaching moment or a lesson. He always has taught me to have a teachable spirit. So when in regards with my songwriting process, like I've just learned so much from him, and especially writing in Tagalog, since that's usually when he and I collaborate, because he's really
Mm.
taught me to expound not just my vocabulary, but the showing me the ropes when it comes to writing in Tagalog and making OPM basically. So yeah, it's just such an enriching experience that I feel so privileged to have, because not
Yeah.
everyone has that kind of access to someone who has years worth of experience to speak for his own artistry. And as a dad, he's always been so supportive, and he just passes that on to me.
Oh, that's really nice. And hey, it's Father's Day
Yeah,
coming up next month, so like
that's
thanks so
true.
much. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
Um, and MU, like that's your latest single. You wrote it with your dad. What's the story?
Right.
What was the moment that this song was born? Take us back to that
The
moment.
Right. Yeah, no, I remember it so vividly in my mind. It started back in February when I was just having a conversation, like, I guess you have when you talk with your friends, I was talking with my best friend, and we were, I guess, like just having a girl talk kind of session, where it's like
Mm-hmm.
half lighthearted, a bit serious. I mean, that's how we are. And, we were talking about the things that we want and what we don't want in a relationship, what the things we deserve, like, when the next, I guess, like guy, like eventually like comes along, what do we expect from that guy? And in my particular situation, I basically said, I blurted it out. I said, uh, like yung mga MU na yan, like MU, because MU, we know MU usually stands for mutual understanding. That's what it means here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
But for me, I just thought like, yung mga MU na yan, hindi yan mutual understanding. Malabong usapan yan. And I was like,
Oh.
light bulb moment. I think this would make a really cool concept for a song. And I don't think a lot of people have really gone that direction in talking about, that particular aspect of reality, especially in my generation. Because,
Mm-hmm.
this happens, especially in the day and age of social media. It's so easy to lead someone on and just keep
Oh
things
yeah.
casual with no label. It's so easy. And
Yeah.
especially with quarantine, it's so easy to string someone along and just kind of drop them. So I really
Yeah.
wrote it about that. I think it was really inspired by the reality that this happens to a lot of people. And I wanted it to be that song that when they listen to it, it's like a piece of advice. And as much as
Mm-hmm.
it is a piece of advice to my listeners, it's a piece of advice to myself. Parang paalala ko sa sarili ko na you should know what you want. You should know what you deserve. Know your worth. Don't settle for less. Guard your heart. And yeah, those are the rules that you should go by. And that's what you should expect from the person that you choose to give your heart to.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's great advice coming from you. And I guess
Thanks.
that's all of what you said is distilled into that song, into MU.
Right.
And you released it a while back. Well, not maybe like a week ago at as of
Yeah,
today.
a week or two. A week or
Yeah.
two ago. I released it May 14. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's been a minute. But yeah,
So
fairly recent.
how has the response been? Like, have you heard from listeners what they think about the song?
Right. Yeah. No, it's been, I think from the moment that it was released, I was just so overwhelmed by all the love that I've been, seeing for the single. And honestly, like, I do acknowledge like there's been some division with the opinions. And I guess people speculate and that they have their own interpretation of the song, which, they're free to have. I mean, that's what music is. I mean, it's a talking point, it's a topic that, when people talk about it, then I think it's good. It opens room for discussion, and people are
Mhm.
entitled to their own opinions as long as they, I guess, don't hurt anyone in the process. But nevertheless, focusing on the more positive aspect, not COVID positive, but positive aspect of it, I would say that it's just been so overwhelming to see so many people tell me their own stories, that, especially women, that they've gone through the situation
Mhm.
and this has helped them. And this is exactly the piece of advice that they needed to hear. And I wanted it to feel like from one girlfriend to another, like, like, girl, know your worth. And although, I do speak to women, but at the same time, guys can experience this too. They
Yeah.
can either be on the more, I guess, other end or other aspect of it,
Yeah.
but they can also be on the receiving end of it. And like it can perfectly happen to anyone. So
Yeah.
yeah, so when I would hear people just appreciating the song for the message that I wanted to relay with it, it just meant so much to me, just knowing that I've been able to make that connection with my listeners with another song in a different way that I challenged myself to. Because like
Mhm.
this is me, I guess, stepping outside of my comfort zone, because I came from a single, Paano Kung Naging Tayo, which was more of a power like pop ballad, which is what I think my listeners tend to associate with me with. But this one, I changed the direction, and I really went full on pop,
Yeah.
which are really my roots. Pop
Yeah.
is really what I live and breathe. Like that's the type of music that I want to make. So I think this is like the beginning of me establishing myself as kind of an all around, I guess, pop artist, and really
Yeah.
solidifying that in, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's like you saying this is what you can do, like showing people what you can do.
Yes, 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 exactly.
And you mentioned earlier connecting with your listeners through this song,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean another. I guess, aspect of connecting with your listeners is through performance, which will be
True.
happening very soon for you because you're doing your
Yes, that's
first
right.
ever concert on June
Mhm.
26th.
Mhm.
I don't know. People might say, why do a concert at a time like this? So,
I think
yeah,
that's a
why?
very good question. Yeah, that's a very good question that no one has really asked me that yet. So thank you for that. Honestly, why now? Because, well, I won't say it's just purely because of ambition. I've always wanted to do a concert, but I think what's kind of held me back from doing it even earlier, like pre-pandemic, is because I really wanted to wait for that right time. And you'll just know in yourself as an artist, I think, when the time is right. And I think this is
Mhm.
the right time for me now, since I've been putting out so many songs, and I've been getting a lot of positive feedback from my fans and listeners or casual viewers alike, that they've always wanted to see me in a full length kind of show that I'm headlining and really showcase my full potential and what I can do and what I have to offer as an artist. So it just made so much sense to do it now more than ever, especially at a
Mhm.
turning point in my career such as this. Like, besides the fact that, I'm newly with Rise Artist Studio and Star Magic and just ABS-CBN music in general, or just ABS-CBN, it just made sense that this is also part of the next phase of my career, is to do a
Yeah.
headline show. And this has always been my dream. I mean, eventually I would like to take it on the road. I would like to tour. That's one of the ambitions I have for myself as an artist. And I think there's nothing like that live feel. Of course, like, doing in person or live shows is different. But at the same time, since this is I always believe in the saying, like something my dad's taught me, you play with the hand that you're dealt with. And in this
Mhm.
particular situation, we're in the middle of a pandemic. But at the same time, why should I let that completely stop me from doing what I love and
Mhm.
still being able to connect with my fans? And I think it's even provided, in a way, a bigger solution to a thing where, I guess there's been a problem sometimes, like, if a particular artist doesn't go to your city, so you don't get to really see them live. Well, because this
Yeah.
is a virtual show that's accessible worldwide, people from different countries can watch it simultaneously with people in the
Yeah.
Philippines, which I think is an incredible experience. It feels very inclusive, and I think as an artist, that's like one of my goals, is to make my work feel as inclusive as possible. And
Yeah.
this concert is the same thing. So, yeah, I think why now? Why not now? I think that's the basic
Yeah.
summary.
I love it. I love the attitude. um
Why
and
not now?
yeah, like you said, it opens you up to a wider audience, and also I guess
Yes.
gives you a chance to be more creative. So
Mm-hmm.
how are you preparing for this concert? Like, what can people expect?
I think people have a common misconception sometimes when it comes to artists, is that they think that, you're when you're a singer, you just go out on stage and then you just perform. No, it's not like that at all. Like, there are real preparations, not just physically, wherein you have to work out and things like that, but mentally and spiritually, you really do have to work for it. And
Mhm.
think of it this way: like, you're an athlete in who's preparing for a competition or a game. It's exactly the same thing. So it's this
Mhm.
big moment or this big game that's of my life that's so important to me, and I intend, as an artist, binibigay ko lahat sa audience ko. So it just
Mhm.
makes sense to really do everything to get myself into shape. So, besides rehearsals and things like that, and even just practicing on my own, I think part of the preparation as well is really communication with my team, since like my musical director and the director of my show, Frank Lloyd
Mhm.
Mamaril, who's incredible. Just really communicating the vision that I have in mind, and bringing it to life. I think that's such an important part of the process of
Yeah.
preparation for the show. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, so you're preparing musically, you're preparing physically. Um, what's the show gonna be like? I'm so curious now. Like, is there what's it gonna look like? What songs are you gonna perform?
Right, of course. Well, I can definitely tell you there's a lot to expect. You can expect definitely the songs that I've already put out. I think it's safe to say that, of course. I think that's already a given. I would say that uh expect a different side to Jada. Expect
Mm.
to see me in I guess my element, hopefully. I mean, I'm doing everything I can to be in my element, but showcasing really what I have to offer as an artist. I think that's really the all around kind of message or statement that I want to do with this show. It's showing what I can do as an artist and
Mhm.
what makes me, I guess, unique in the sense and my own personal stamp on each of the songs that I'll be performing. As regards to the set
Ooh.
list, I'm not going to spoil a lot of it, but I will say maybe expect some new songs that you haven't heard of yet. So,
Oh.
yeah, I think that's a bit of a tease that I can like throw out there a little bit. But yeah, other than that, just expect a full concert experience as much as I
Mm.
can give it to you, especially given the circumstances because I told my team like just because it's online, I don't want people thinking that they're going to get any less of a concert experience.
Yeah.
Like it's still that same thing. It's just that obviously you can't experience it in person, but we want it to feel very personal and feel like as if I'm performing or I'm speaking to you through the comfort of your own home
Yeah.
on your screens. So I think that's what I have to say of what to expect with this show.
Will you be like I'm trying to imagine it, like how it's gonna play out. Like will it how will you interact with the viewers? Like how does that play out in a virtual concert?
Well, in terms of direct, I guess personal interaction, the best way would probably be if you get the VIP ticket here. I'm gonna throw in a bit of promo. If you get the VIP ticket, which is super affordable, you get a chance to have a meet and greet, a Zoom meet and greet with me. So we can have a bit of a chat, konting chikahan,
Mm.
yung tipong ganun. And I think that's probably as personal can get at the very moment. I
Yeah.
think in terms of viewer interaction, it'll feel more. I think it'll be felt more with my song choices, and I think it's
Oh.
very personal. A lot of the songs will be very personal, and they will mean something to me. I can tell you that every song on the set list means something to me, and there is a purpose as to why I put it there. And it's the same with let's say the guests that I will be having for the show. Everything has a purpose. Everything has a reason. I'm very big
Mm.
on that. So expect a purpose-filled show and stories from me as a singer-songwriter and telling you guys things that in general appearances or interviews that I might not be able to go into detail with. I might be able
Yeah.
to go into detail with in my show. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a look into my artistic mindset.
Ooh. I'm sure fans are super excited for that. So before we head on to the performance part of this
Of
show,
course.
can you tell people how can they be part of your first ever major concert?
For sure. Well, first things first. Jayda in concert sa June 26 na po yan. You can get your tickets at ktx.ph on I Want and TFC pay-per-view. And you can avail the VIP ticket, which includes a Zoom meet and greet with me and or the general admission ticket as well. I would love to see you guys at the show and maybe even be able to meet you over Zoom. And thank you in person for the support that you guys have been giving me. And I hope to meet even some maybe people who are just kind of willing to give me a shot and just see what I have to offer. Like I'm really excited about that. Even like potentially new people who, might be giving the show a chance to see what I can do. So, yeah, that's what I have to say. And of course, isisingit ko na rin, MU Malabong Usapan is out now on all digital music platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon, Deezer, and many more. And of course, the music video is on Star Music's YouTube channel, directed by me and Edric Sanchez, starring me and Francine Diaz. And there you have
Yay.
it.
Thank you so much, Jada. That
Of
was fun.
course.
And good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck with your
Thank
concert
you.
and all your future plans.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate it,
everyone, for
Amanda.
tuning in. to Rappler Live Jam. That was Jayda Avanzado. Enjoy her music.
Ang sarap ang mahal sa simula hanggang malaman mo na ang nagmamahal ay ikaw na pala. Pagkatapos kong umibig at masaktan, marami akong natutunan. Dapat ang puso'y bantayan at ingatan. Ayoko nang umasa sa paasa na wala pag-asa. Ayoko nang ganyan. Ayoko nang umasa sa paasa na wala pag-asa. Di na ako palilin lang. Ayoko nang malabong usapan. Ito ang dapat ko nang iwasan. Ito ako kung gusto mo, basta ito ang ayaw ko. Ayoko nang malabong usapan. Love you. Ayoko nang mag-blame you. Love you. Ayoko nang mag-blame you. Sa una pa lang alam mo na ang aking nararamdaman. Huwag mo sana akong paglaruan. Ang puso ko'y manumpok, ngunit di natatakot na ibigay ang lahat sa tao na karapat-dapat at umiibig ng tapat. Ayoko nang umasa sa paasa na walang pag-asa. Tigilan mo na yan. Ayoko nang umasa sa paasa na walang pag-asa. Di na ako palilin lang. Ayoko lang malabong usapan. Ito ang dapat ko nang iwasan. Ito ako kung gusto mo, basta ito ang ayaw ko. Ayoko lang malabong usapan. Love you. Ayoko na ng you. 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 Ayoko nang umasa sa paasa na walang pag-asa. Tigilan mo na yan. Ayoko nang umasa sa paasa na walang pag-asa. Di na ako palilin lang. Ayoko nang malabong usapan. Ito ang dapat ko nang iwasan. Ito ako kung gusto mo, basta ito ang ayaw ko. Ayoko lang malabong usapan. Love you. Ayoko lang love you. Love you. Love you. Ayoko lang love you. Love you. Umaamin ang puso ko at damdamin. Sa pagtingin nililihim para sa'yo. Nagsisisi, bakit di ko nasabi sa dinami-dami ng pagkakataon. Paano kung naging tayo? Paano kung ako'y naibig mo? Paano kung naging tayo? Di na sana nagkakaganto. Kung ikayakin, may kantang aawitin malapit sa ating damdamin para sa nakakaganto